The controversy surrounding The Witcher Season 4 had been building for months, but everything changed the moment Henry Cavill finally broke his silence. Fans always knew Henry was a gentleman, measured, respectful, and deeply protective of the characters he plays. But this time, he wasn't just offering polite comments or dodging questions with diplomatic smiles. This time, Henry Cavill made it clear that he had seen enough. And when he addressed the state of The Witcher under Liam Hemsworth's portrayal, his message shook the entire fandom. It all began during a press conference for one of Henry's new projects. The room was filled with reporters expecting the usual routine. Questions about Warhammer, fitness, his beloved PC builds, but not The Witcher, not after everything that happened. For months, Henry had skillfully avoided discussing the recast, leaving fans guessing at his thoughts. But suddenly, someone asked the question that changed the tone of the room instantly. Henry, have you seen any of the scenes from The Witcher Season 4? And what do you think about Liam Hemsworth stepping into the role?
Oh, I can make whatever I want. I've got him on a farm milking people. I'm gonna send him to the ladies with the red bonnets on.
Because everyone can have their version. Everyone shouldn't. Everyone doesn't matter enough to have their version. What matters is the millions upon millions of people which have bought the games, and they deserve to be represented. Lauren doesn't. Lauren's irrelevant. I'm not sure why Lauren's the showrunner. She already scared off the best asset that the series has. Getting rid of Henry Cavill and keeping Lauren would be like losing a Wagyu steak and having it replaced with a carrot.
Were you familiar with this, the Watcher before you, The Witcher?
The Witcher,
before
yeah.
you started?
I hadn't seen the TV show, and I hadn't read the book.
I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can do this.
Henry paused, lifting his head with that familiar calmness. He wasn't angry yet, but there was a seriousness in his expression that demanded attention. He exhaled, nodded slowly, and said, "Yes, I've seen a few things." The room fell silent. Even the reporters who had been tapping on laptops froze. Everyone could sense this was the moment they'd been waiting for. And then Henry added, "I'm concerned, very concerned." The internet exploded within minutes, but that was only the beginning. Henry didn't stop there. Instead of shifting away from the topic, he leaned into it, firm, honest, and heartbreakingly direct. The Witcher is not just a show, he said. It's a world built with specific rules, emotions, history, and depth. Geralt of Rivia is a character who requires commitment, discipline, and most importantly, respect for the source material. He paused. And when those elements are missing, everything falls apart. Fans instantly understood the subtext. Henry wasn't simply critiquing creative decisions. He was calling out the new direction, the recast, and the choices that had pushed him out of the show. And though he never mentioned Liam by name in that moment, the implication was loud and unmistakable. Henry Cavill believed Liam Hemsworth was not upholding the standard that Geralt demanded.
Witcher was supposed to be 7 seasons, but it was abruptly cut down to 5 after Henry Cavill left, and Lauren Hissrich is lucky she got that. But she does say, are there more stories? Maybe. Well, actually, there's a lot because you skipped them, but this one has to end at this point. So I think it's a nice time for all of us to step back a little bit. And that probably has a lot to do with the audience stepping back a long time ago. Back
they
in
should have just canceled it.
It was and there were more than a few outlets and fans.
I don't know why Netflix would have even continued with it, because like it's only going to damage their brand and make them look bad. Like you probably should be paying money to not have it shown.
Saying that's possible, actually releasing the show. And let's just
I don't know why they released it. They should have just canceled it. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people obviously don't like this type of content.
Netflix's Q2 report came out, and apparently they lost 1 million subscribers in the second quarter of this year, which we already saw that at the beginning of the year, they lost 200,000. The next month, they lost another couple 100,000, and they had projected that they were going to lose a couple million over the next few months.
My job? Kill monsters. Get coin. Use coin on McDonald's app. Get points. Use points to get free McChicken. Only 1,500 points. Every dollar spent is 100 points. Constant BOGOs. I always leave with a free McChicken. It's like I'm stealing from them.
Stealing? You're a thief. Lemon.
Later that week, Henry expanded on his comments during a separate interview. The host approached the subject cautiously, clearly aware that he was treading on sensitive ground. "Do you feel that the character of Geralt is being misunderstood now?" he asked. Henry's expression shifted, less controlled, more emotional. He nodded slowly. Geralt isn't meant to be flashy. He isn't meant to be clean. He isn't meant to be softened. He is the result of trauma, conflict, chaos, and sacrifice. When you reduce Geralt to poses and staged expressions where you're not playing Geralt, you're playing a costume. That line became the spark that ignited the entire fandom. Within hours, clips of Henry saying those words spread across social media, paired with side-by-side comparisons of his gritty, haunted portrayal and Liam Hemsworth's more polished cinematic approach. Fans pointed out the differences: Henry's brooding authenticity versus Liam's glossy, rehearsed energy. Henry's subtle emotional depth versus Liam's exaggerated facial acting. Henry's lived-in physicality versus Liam's stiff, gym-trained posture.
Now I have to.
I think that's just so unfair to the guy. Are we really going to blame everything and scapegoat this guy? Well, think about it. If the show was so great, why did the first guy leave? It's so unfair.
Millions of people are canceling their Netflix subscriptions. Why Netflix stock is absolutely tanking right now. I mean, it is just collapsing totally in the red. And you can see that it is on a massive downward slope this month. It's cratering.
And I guess bringing in a new White Wolf at this point in the season, a bold move and a tall order for Liam.
And of course, he wanted to honor the character that had already been set up because he knows that he's stepping into a role. But at the same time, he wanted to make sure that his performance was authentic, that it felt like him, that he wasn't playing and mimicking anything. And so
promote this thing until a month before it came out. They knew that switching from like Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth, as downhill as the franchise has gone, everybody knew that even they knew it'd be shit. Were we expecting this? Witcher Season 4 is sitting at 17% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I agree with the responsibility of that lays at the feet of one woman, the aforementioned Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, who has finally gotten everything she wanted, complete control of an epic fantasy series on Netflix without the shackles of Henry Cavill. And how did it turn out? Well, about as bad as you would expect. It's time to talk about
Witcher, Witcher, Witcher. There's fish people drowning our sheep in the river.
Sounds like drowners. Gonna need spicy mayo.
Okay.
Oil my blade. Witcher magic for every occasion. Killing monsters is what I do.
Okay, can you hurry?
Witcher! A vampire ate my mom!
A Dracula needs garlic butter.
A report soon surfaced from an insider who allegedly spoke to Henry after he stepped away from The Witcher. According to the source, Henry had described what he saw from season 4 as heartbreaking and felt the world he helped build was being turned into something unrecognizable. The insider claimed Henry said Geralt is being diluted and that the emotional center of the story had been lost. Fans believed the rumor instantly because it aligned with everything Henry had subtly been expressing in public. Meanwhile, Liam Hemsworth was reportedly feeling the pressure more than ever. Social media had turned into a battlefield with fans overwhelmingly siding with Henry. Hashtags like #Cavillis Geralt, #NotMyGeralt, and #BringBackHenry trended for days. Reaction channels tore apart every leaked clip, analyzing Liam's performance with brutal honesty. They pointed out that he lacked the weight behind Geralt's silence, the haunted eyes Henry had mastered, and the deep internal storytelling that Henry brought to every scene. Henry's quiet critiques only amplified the divide.
Promote this thing until a month before it came out. They knew that switching from like Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth, as downhill as the franchise has gone, everybody knew that even they knew it'd be shit. Were we expecting this? Witcher Season 4 is sitting at 17% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And I mean, look, the critics are pretty so-so on it as well. Some critics have been lambasting it, but overwhelmingly the fan base who has had an opportunity to watch it has wholeheartedly rejected this thing.
And it was not even a year ago where Henry very publicly said that he is committed to doing the planned 7 seasons of the Netflix Witcher on one condition. That condition being that the writers can manage to tell great stories while honoring the source material this show is apparently meant to be based on. Now,
okay, well that actually does fucking indicate something, doesn't it? Let's read this again. Absolutely, he says, and this is a quote, "As long as we can keep telling great stories which honor Sapkowski's work." So I wonder what the odds are that a Netflix series isn't going to honor the original content of which the series is built off. What's this? Oh, I saw this. Henry Cavill says he's not a fan of sex scenes in film and television and believes that they're mostly a bit of a cop-out. Fucking true. Absolutely true.
It's when you have a sense that you're going, is this really necessary? Or is it people just with less clothing on?
Right.
And that's where you start to get more uncomfortable and you're thinking, there's not a performance here. TV show or a movie is just filled with sort of gyrating bodies and you're going, okay, right. But I mean, what is this doing for us apart from the idea of like, oh, naked person, great. Yeah.
During a podcast appearance, Henry gave the clearest statement yet about the recast. When asked if he believed Geralt could simply be replaced by any actor, he shook his head decisively. No, he said, not if the core of the character isn't respected. Some roles require more than performance. They require understanding. And without that understanding, the portrayal becomes hollow. Fans said that line decimated Liam without naming him. One of Henry's most viral comments came when he spoke about the importance of consistency in a character's journey. Geralt has depth, Henry explained. He's shaped by pain, choices, and the world around him. If you don't feel that weight, if you don't show that weight, then viewers don't feel Geralt. They just see someone wearing his armor. Again, fans immediately contrasted this with Liam's scenes, saying that the new Geralt looked too clean, too relaxed, or too much like he was trying to imitate Henry instead of understanding Geralt. But Henry's most intense moment came near the end of another interview when someone bluntly asked, "Do you think season 4 is staying true to The Witcher's legacy?" Henry didn't sugarcoat his answer. "No," he said, "I don't." The room went silent. Henry continued, "Fact that fans feel the same way tells you everything." That single comment became the headline across dozens of news sites. Even though Henry never attacked Liam personally, his critique of the show's direction naturally reflected on Liam's performance. Fans interpreted it as Henry saying exactly what many already believed. Liam Hemsworth wasn't capable of carrying Geralt in a way that honored the legacy Henry built. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, insiders claimed Liam took Henry's words hard. One report suggested Liam felt betrayed, believing Henry should have been more supportive of him. But fans pushed back fiercely, saying Henry owed Liam nothing, especially after Henry spent years defending the lore while the writers ignored him. Some even said Henry had warned the writers politely for years, and now he finally let the truth surface. As the controversy grew, Henry addressed the Witcher fandom directly in a short, heartfelt statement. "I didn't mention Liam at all, but what he did say spoke volumes. I love this character. I love this universe. I fought for its integrity every day I was on set. Nothing has changed about that." Fans interpreted this as Henry drawing a line in the sand. Liam represented a diluted version of Geralt, one created by writers who didn't respect the books, the fans, or Henry's earlier contributions. And Henry, even after leaving the show, wasn't going to pretend everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. The final piece of the puzzle came during a fan Q&A event. When asked what he thought about someone else taking on Geralt, Henry said, "Geralt deserves someone who understands him, someone who sees beyond the monster fighting and sword swinging. Someone who recognizes the humanity under the scars." The audience erupted in applause. And though Henry didn't name Liam, the implication echoed louder than anything he'd said before. Henry Cavill didn't believe Liam Hemsworth was that person. In the end, Henry Cavill never needed to launch a direct attack on Liam. He didn't need to criticize him by name. His critiques of the writing, the creative direction, the lack of emotional weight, and the loss of authenticity all pointed to the same conclusion. Liam Hemsworth was contributing to the decline of The Witcher rather than preserving it. Fans trusted Henry because he fought for the source material. He cared about Geralt in a way few actors care about their roles. And when Henry said the show had lost its soul, people believed him. Because if there was one thing The Witcher Season 4 made clear, it was this. Henry Cavill was the soul, and without him, the world he built began to crumble.